few more questions on LR and DI, and let me just sum up. I think this is the last leg of your preparation. I think this is the right time to just focus, to just focus on just seeing new things, not really learning new things, but just looking at how to work with the things that you come across, which is new, and work on a lot of tests. I think that's the last leg of your preparation, right? That's good going. So what we have is a mix of questions of various topics, starting from number based, analytical type, you have data interpretation, all sorts of questions, right? And let's take the question first, and then we shall open it up for questions later. Okay, so let's begin with the first question. Are you all ready? All good? Yeah? Yes or yes? Okay, so let's start the first question, right? You can read the question again like I generally do. It's about 30 seconds, 30 to 90 seconds, right? Is what I generally give time to read a question. You get that much time, right? About 30 to 90 seconds. This question 30 seconds. The time's already started. Alright, so that finishes your time. I'm sure all of you would be aware this is a very simple question to work with. Anyone would have anticipated a question like this. Nothing too much to worry, right? So let's look at how to solve it. This type of question appeared quite some time back in CAT, so it's not contemporary. At the same time, this is something, CAT can always repeat their type of questions. There's no hard and fast rule that a particular type of question has to, not reappear. If you take the example of CAT 2008 and CAT 2017, a similar type of caselet was there based on percentages, right? Similar. They're not exactly the same data or something, right? But a similar caselet was there on percentages in the CAT 8 and CAT 17. In fact, the table was the same. The table that they made, they'd broken a school into three parts. That is standard 10, standard 11, and standard 12. And pretty similar one was there in CAT 2017 as well, right? They'd broken it into people having pizzas and different varieties of pizzas, thin crust, and deep dish, and something like that. So you see the CAT, but the funda slightly changes, but the original idea of the caselet is more or less the same. So that's the reason I brought in perspective something like this, right? Something most of you know how to fill a question. This is sometimes called the alphanumerics, alphametrics, or crypt arithmetic, whatever you want to call. The rules of this engagement is very simple, right? Each capitalized letter stands for a unique digit from 0 to 9, meaning assuming that A takes the value 0, no other letter. That means B cannot take the value 0, right? B has to take anything apart from 0, right? This is not valid, right? And, again, since A is taken 0, so A cannot take another value like 1. So A can take unique value, unique digit, right? Unique digit, and every digit will map to a unique letter. That means let's assume 2 is assigned to B, right? So 2 cannot be assigned to something else like a C or a D or something. It does not work. So, right, that is pretty much a standard rule. It's understood in all alphanumeric questions, right? So let's see what we're trying to do in this question. Simple one. Let's start with some rules of engagement, right? So we have a 4-digit calculation ABCD with another 4-digit number ABCB. right? And giving us A, F, G, A, G. Now let's start with the value of A. Now what could likely be a value of A? Let's interpret this first. What could likely be a value for A? Okay. Now if you were to think, the value of A could easily be thought of, right, as 0 or 1. Now, why am I looking at 0? Why not directly say 1? That means why not this becomes 1 and this becomes 1? Instead of claiming this could be a 0 or this could be 0. There's nowhere it's mentioned that A cannot take the value 0, right? That's one catch, right? Nowhere it's mentioned that A cannot take the value 0. So it's very likely A can or A could be, right, a value like 0. This is something that most books or most places you will see that you don't need to look at this question because of the subsequent questions that you will get, right? If you look at the future questions, right, you will see the value of batch. With that you can assume the value of A is 1, or in some of the questions you can easily get to know that the value of A is 1. But let's look in an exam, right? That's something that you'll never know. You might have to look at why not the value of A become 0 as well. Let's try to figure that out, right? Why the value of A cannot be 0, right? So yeah, giving a thought, giving this thought process, giving this particular thought, right? If A value becomes 0, right? A value becomes 0. So what could it be likely? What could it be likely? That means C, one possibility of C also is 0. If A is 0, C is 0, or C is 5. Only then we can get 0 plus 0 giving us a 0. The addition, right? 0 plus 0 giving us a 0. There is no other way we can map up to this. Or we could also say a 5 plus 5 giving us a 10. So 0 and carry forward that 1. Right? Which means a B plus B should definitely give us a carry forward of 1. Should certainly give us a carry forward of 1, right? If it does not give us a carry forward of 1, the problem is E value, whatever the value of E, if there is no carry forward, right, we are not getting 1 here. So 1 plus E cannot give us a value of F, right? Are we okay with that? Okay. So what I'm trying to say, let me just repeat, okay? If assuming the value of A, is 0, right, then C would become a 0 or 5, right? Now if C is a 0, that's fine. We don't have 0, that's anyway ruled out because A is already taken 0. We cannot take C as 0. What if C is 5? The point being, if C is 5, 5, 5, this will give us carry forward of 1 for B. So B plus 1 will be G and carry forward 1, without which we cannot get a value of F, right? That makes it a little tricky, right? Which also means the value of B has to be greater than 5. Why greater than 5 or greater than equal to 5? Greater than 5 because C is not allowed. And why greater than 5? Because only 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, right? If the value of B is plus 1, B plus 1 should give us a carry, right? Which means G is something that we're going to get here, right? Okay, so if you look a little more deeper, right? If you look a little more deeper, right? We have B. We have a number like B, right? If the value of B is 6, 7, 8, or 9, the value of G is likely, right? The value of G will likely only be smaller compared to this value called B, right? Let's take an example. If I take B value is 6, so 6 plus 1, that makes it 13. So you notice the value of G, the value of B, and the value of B, right? G value is always smaller. The value of B is always smaller, which automatically, the value of G is always smaller, which automatically means if G is 3 here, G is 3 here, that means there was a carry forward of 1. So B and D is giving us a carry forward of 1. That means A is no more 0. Right? This will eventually occur for all the cases. That automatically means that A value cannot be 0. Are we getting a hang of this? Right? It's a nice simple take. Right? Though the question is not really asking whether the value of A is 0 or not. I'm just trying to look in a perspective to make you think. Right? The value of A is definitely not 0. Anyone can look at it and say, okay, this is the first digit, so how can it be? But it's not necessary. Right? It's not necessary. There's a thinking beyond this, right? The thinking is A value could be 0 or 1, C could be 0 or 5. 0 ruled out if A is 0. C could be 5, but if C is 5, B plus 1, this part, B plus 1 is definitely giving us a carry, which means that B plus D is again giving us G. G is definitely a small number. If B is 6, D cannot be a minus 3 or something, right? D has to be at least 1 or 2 or 3 or something, which means there will be a carry forward here. That automatically means that we have 1 plus 5, which cannot get a 0. In any case, the value of A cannot be 0, right? The value of A is not 0. That's something that we have understood, we have anticipated, and now let's work. Let's work on what we have to work. So let me write it down again. We have A, B, C, D. That's the 4 numbers plus E, B, C, B, giving us A, F, G, A, G. Now we have understood that the value, of, we have understood that the value of A is necessarily 1. So let's just fix that value. A value is 1. It could not just be 0, right? We cannot assign it as 0. So it is definitely going to be 1, right? The value of A is definitely 1, right? Okay, now coming to think of this, the value of E could either be a 8 or a 9, right? If the value of E is 8, that means we'll have A plus E giving us a value AF. AF could be written as, right, A we know is 10, right? If we are talking of AF, F could be 10, 11, AF could be 10, 11, 12, 13. So it could be 10 plus F, right? But we know the value of A is 1, right? We know the value of A is 1, and E value could be 8, or the value of A is 1 and E value could be 9. See, let's understand this. If I talk the numbers, the digits that we're talking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? We already know that only these, the letters can only take these digits, which automatically means, right, we know A is 1, right? And E value could be 8 or 9 because we need 10 or more, right? But what if it is E value is 8? So we have a 8, we have a 1. There might have been a carry forward, right? From B and B, there might have been, from this step, from B and B, there could have been a carry forward here. There could have been a carry forward here. That means, in that case, we could have taken this case. If there is no carry forward, we can take this case, right? Can there be a case like this and there is a carry forward? That means we have, we have a carry forward of 1 plus this giving us a 10, or we have a 1 plus 9 giving us a 10, or we have a 1 plus 9 plus 1 giving us a 10 or 11. That's fine. But in that case, this is negated. This is simply negated because F value would become 1. That's not allowed, right? So which automatically means come what may, F value is 0, right? Are we certain with this, right? So F value is 0. Let's fix that value for F. F value is 0, right? E value, we're uncertain. We're uncertain whether it's 8 or 9, depending on whether there's a carry from B plus B or whether there's no carry. If there's no carry, the value of E would become 9, right? The value of E would become 9, and that's what we'll have to look at, okay? Which means a nice thing has happened for us. We know C plus C is giving us 1, right? If we take C plus C giving us 1, we cannot have sum of two numbers giving us an odd number, right? Sum of 2, that means 2 into C, cannot be equal to 1, which means there is definitely a carry forward, which means B plus D, right? We're talking of a B plus D. B plus D is definitely giving us a carry forward of 1, right? B plus D is giving us a G and a carry forward 1. G could be any value. It could be, like, for example, B plus D could be 12, 13, 14, 15, some number, right? Okay, so there is a carry forward. And if that carry forward is taken, right, now we have a little more perspective into things, which means what? Can I take the value of 1 plus 0 is equal to 1? Nah, for the simple reason that we've already assigned 0 to F. So we can only check 1 plus 5 giving us a last digit 1. There could be a second last, there is a carry forward. That means when we are talking of the letter B, above B, we have a carry forward, and the carry forward should be 1. Are we doing good? Yeah. So we found out pretty much numbers. You will see, just by doing a little bit of things here, right? See, we have answered the first question here already. You answer the first question, maybe it might help us in the second question. So you might not really have to have answered the third question, right? You might not really have to solve the entire thing many a times, right? And this is something that you must learn to work, right? It's very simple when there is a case slit like this in LR. It's very unlikely that all the questions are going to be easy, right? In the case slit, if there are 4 or there are 6, right? In the last few years, we've always seen a case slit with 4 questions. It's very unlikely that all the 4 questions are going to be easy, and it's unlikely that all the 4 questions are going to be tough. If there are 4, if there is 6, it could be 5, it could be 3, right? Okay. Even in an easy case slit, there could be one question which will take longer. Though the case slit is easy, one question could take longer. You can always refrain from doing that and come back to it. So that means a few pointers. Okay, we'll give you a few pointers at the end of this particular thing. So keep waiting for some time. Right? Very important pointers I'm going to give you, because we are moving into the last leg of preparation. Right? Pretty important pointers to keep you, to be in sync with what will happen on the day of the examination, right? So we have identified few values, A value being 1, that's the first thing that we did, F value being 0, C value being 5. We have also identified another couple of things. That means we have identified, D plus B is a 2-digit number which ends in G. We know D plus B is equal to 10 plus G. Can we go ahead and write it this way? Right, because we know D plus B is giving us a carry forward of 1, right? So that gives us a 10 plus G. That's pretty simple, that's easy, right? And B plus B is plus 1 is giving us G. It could have been a carry, they might not be a carry. That we'll have to figure out, right? That we'll have to figure out. Still we are waiting to figure that out. So now there's another equation that I want to map right now. That is, what is the value of 1 plus B plus B? There could be two possibilities. One, it could be G, or 1 plus B plus B could be equal to 10 plus G. So that's like your equation 1, that's like your equation 2, and let's call this equation 3, right? If I take equation 1 and 3 and solve it, what do we get? 1 plus B plus B, right? 1 plus B plus B plus 10, right? If we take this equation 3 and equation 1, what do we get? We get 1 plus B plus B plus 10, right? 1 plus B plus B plus 10 is equal to D plus B. So D plus B is equal to 1 plus B plus B plus 10. How have we done this? Because we know it's 10 plus G, and we know G value is 1 plus B plus B using 1 and 2, which gives us a unlikely observation, that is D minus B is equal to 11. Now, difference of two numbers. You look at the numbers. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 only. Right? You have only these numbers. So D minus B cannot be 11. That means we cannot take that case. We are definitely going to rule out that particular case. Right? This case is ruled out. I'm just striking it off. It's not even required for us in the question. Let me also strike off that particular thing that we were discussing. That means 1 plus B plus B is definitely not equal to G, which also means 1 plus B plus B is giving us 10 plus G, which means there is certainly a carry of 1. Now that's easy, right? Making sense. E becomes 8, right? E becomes 8, and there's a carry forward. E becomes 8. But which also means another thing. We have 1 plus B plus B is 10 plus G, and D plus B is 10 plus G. If we solve both of them, right? If we solve both of them, we'll notice B and B will cancel. We can get D minus B is equal to 1. What does this statement mean for us? What does this equation mean for us? D minus B is equal to 1. And what's implied? It's implied that there are two consecutive numbers. Second, we already know that D plus B has to be greater than 10. So those two consecutive numbers should definitely be greater than 5 each. And there's only one condition left, two consecutive numbers greater than 5, right? which being 6 and 7. We don't have any other case. But the problem, we are not sure whether D7 or B7, whether D6 or B6, right? But to rescue is some number here. So let's for a minute assume that this is 6 and this is 7. So that turns out to be G value would become a 3, right? It could be a 7 and 6, but let's just check, okay? In that case, we have a 7 and we have a 7 for B, but 7 plus 1 would make it 15, which would be incorrect. So that makes it pretty simple for us to understand the value of B is not going to be 7. The value of B is definitely going to be 6 and the value of D is going to be 7 and G value has to be 3, and you'll notice how magically the B value when we place a 6, we have a 6 plus carry forward of 1, we end up getting the value of G, which means finally the calculation is 1657 plus 8656 is 10,313. We have all the values here. Let me also assign the values. The value of B is 6, the value of D is 7, and the value of G is 3. So we have finally we've put in all the values, I should guess, right? And that's it. That's all our question, right? That's all we have now have to answer, right? But pretty simple. You'll notice, right? Pretty much at somewhere at the start, maybe the first first few minutes we were able to easily find out the value of A, F and C. We didn't really take that much time, and we could also figure out that G is a small value. G could not take a value very big, right? Okay, that's something that we could have figured out. So let's just look at the questions now. What's the value of F? That's pretty simple. The value of F is 0. Second, what's the value of badge? So we found out B is 6, A is 1, we knew it, right? D is 7, G is 3 and E is 8. So 6, 1, 7, 3, 8. That's a pretty simple answer. And what's the value of C? That we had found out pretty much at the beginning. That's 5. Now, is this a caselet worth solving? Definitely, because except this question, right? Look at this question. There's an answer option which says none of this. The other two questions have pretty much answer options, right? That's a very important thing, good pointer for you in the exam. If there are answer options, even if it is likely or even if it looks a little tricky, try it. It's a much better bet than a easy looking but question without answer option, because once you start doing the cases, only when you'll get to know whether it's easy or tough. But until and unless you have certain amount of clarity on what kind of topics you'd love to attempt, right? That's one. That's pretty important. That one pointer that I wanted to make in this session. There's certain other pointers that will happen during the session, and please look at answer options when you're looking at the question. Yeah. And coming to one more pointer, is it necessary that CAT has to give four question case? May not be, right? Though the actual question paper, right, which they have uploaded is last year's paper. Is it necessary? It's going to be something, most likely it is, right? But there is no governing rule. There is no gospel truth in the fact that it has to be. Just an assumption that we can make. So let's not make assumption. Let's work on your preparation here and nothing more, right? Okay, so that's something. This is the type of caselet that you want to work with. It's pretty easy. Work with answer options as well. It'll take very less time for you and something that you can easily get in the exam, right? All good. Okay, there could be variations of this question. Simple one. Let's go to the next caselet. If all are good, I hope all are fine. All of you are good. Yeah, that's simple, right? So you saw how we had found out A, F, then we went to C, then we went to look at the value of G. We found it small, BD was a pair, and that's it, right? That's a pretty simple one. They could complicate it, right? They could complicate it. In fact, you know what? Let me give you a bonus question, right? Let me give you a bonus question. I'm sure you guys would be, wanting to do something of this sort. So let's take it as, you guys take it as a challenge and try, okay? I'm not saying you will. I'm saying take about 2 or 3 minutes time, not now, when you're back home. back at home or back relaxing and not watching this video, right? Try this question. The question is some plus good, giving you ideas. Yeah, that's a good phrase as well, right? So this is an addition. Right? I would like you to try it whenever you're free, right? Please go through this and try to post your answers. That'll be cool. Are we good? Yeah, very nice. So let's look at an easy one. Let's take it. Very very simple question now, right? Okay, this is also easy, but much simpler one, right? So let's begin with the next question. Good. Yeah. So you take about let's say the 30 seconds. Go ahead, read it, try it.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Okay, so about 10 seconds left for you. Okay, so let's start. Anyway, with the answer? Yeah? Okay. Simple question. Something that why I wanted to give a question like this. This should normally be a question that would have been asked in your math paper, but just look the sync. The way an examiner can think is just lift this question from math, add an additional data, and make it a question on LR. And you'll many a times find out that this is exactly what the examiner might try to do. They can take an English question and push it towards LR. They can take a math question and push it towards LR. And that's how beautiful the subject of logical reasoning is, right? So let's start. With further ado, let's go ahead with the question. There are 4 boxes, each of a different weight, and none weighing more than 100. Okay. Amit weighs 2 boxes at a time and obtains the readings in kg. There are 122, 123, 125, 125 again. We have 127, 128. Then what is the weight of the heaviest box? Assume all the weights are integral. Now we all understand what is integral, right? Nothing to worry. What's an integral number or what's an integer? What's the weight of the heaviest box? What is the weight of the heaviest box? Now, without, honestly speaking, right, if I were to do the question and I did not know a method, where would I start? I would start with this number, right? If I'm talking of 128 is the heaviest, let's call the heaviest box is D and the lightest box is A. So we have A plus B plus C plus D. This is all summation of the boxes, right? Let's take the heaviest box, right? This 128 number would definitely contain the heaviest box, right? And the second heaviest box. If I say, right, A is lesser than B, B is lesser than C, and the weight of C is less than D. So this 128 can only be C plus D. There's no other option, right? There's no other option. Heaviest plus second heaviest will give me the biggest weight, right? These are all sum of weights, and all the weights are less than 100. All are integral values, which automatically means even if I take half of 128, which is 64, the heaviest box has to be greater than 64. That means greater than or equal to 65. That means we could have easily negated this. We could have easily negated this. We still have these 2 answer options. Of course, there is indeterminable, but we'll look at that. We'll look at that perspective in a while, right? This is something that I should have got even before starting with thinking. That's when I just start reading the question, right? There's certain insight that you should get when you're reading a question, right? You should be able to figure out, are you actually doing it? And the reading time, I should say, should take you about 120 seconds max it here. And I even say it's not going to be 120 seconds. Normally, if I take a quant question, what do I assume your reading time should be, and what do I say your reading time should be in LR question? In RC it might be slightly different. So let me just put it in perspective for all you guys. In a quant question, right? When do you know you want to skip it? By the 50th second. The 50th second, you have to decide whether you want to skip it. Now, why am I so particular about 50 seconds? Now, this is a psychological hack, right? Very simple. By the time you decide at the 50th second that, yeah, it's time, you want to skip, right? Maybe you might stretch it for another 4, 5, 6 seconds. You still are about 56, 57 seconds. And even if you skip at 57 seconds, that's less than a minute. So what's there at the back of your mind is in less than a minute you tried to solve this question, you did not get, you're going to come back to it later. But you've not wasted too much time. What you've wasted is less than a minute. Please understand, it's literally a minute gone, but your mind is, your mind is conjuring. You're thinking that you wasted less than a minute. Your mind is not still telling it's a minute, right? Or your mind is not saying it's more than a minute, and that's an important psychological hack. Now, in case of LRDI, this reading time should generally be about, right, 150 seconds to 170 seconds. Now, this might stretch by about 3-4 seconds again. But before a 3 minutes, so less than 3 minutes, you should have skipped it, right? If you really want to skip it. Less than 3, does not matter how difficult it is, right? Because if it's taking more than 3 minutes to skip a question, and assuming that out of the 8 caselets last time, if you're taking last year's paper, we really don't know how the paper is going to be, right? Of the 8 caselets, right, your first 6 were the difficult ones and you try to just start skipping them, right? That is 6 into 4 or 5. That itself is 24 minutes gone, wasted, done and dusted. Right? Why do you want to waste that much time, right? Here, if it is 3 minutes, right, the first 6 caselet, you would have wasted, about 18 minutes. Maybe some of them you will come back because it's not that all the questions. In this case, you still have a 42 minutes left, assuming that the other two cases will be easy. This case, you have a 36 minutes, assuming that the other two are easy. Now, you have much better. You have 6 minutes more actually here. And I'm not saying that 3 minutes should be the average time to skip. Like I said, it should be less than 3 minutes. So, at the back of your mind, that actually your mind is thinking it's 12 minutes. How does it help? It helps you to think better. It helps you to reason better. And it's a big psychological hack. Try it once, right, in the next few days, and you'll notice, right, how different your approach towards the exam can be. So let's come back to this question. Like, let's assume the 4 weights A, B, C, and D. A is the smallest and D is the largest, right? So looking at these weights, now if I look at these 4, if I take any 2, what all possibilities we can have? We can have 4 C2 possibilities, that is 6, right? We all understand what is NCR, 4 C2. Then we can have something like A plus B. We can have A plus C. We can have A plus D. We can have B plus C. We can have B plus probably D, and we can have a C plus D, and that's it. There are 6 possibilities here, right? We are taking 2 things at a time. Right, it's pretty much understandable. The smallest plus the second smallest, that means A plus B, should definitely give us the least total weight. That has to be 122. This is certain. There's no questions asked. And the heaviest plus the second heaviest should give us the heaviest of the combination of 2 weights. That should be 128, which also means in offing, right? That means the sum of the 4 weights, that means A plus B plus C plus D, that should be like 250. A plus B is 122 and C plus D is 128, right? And C plus D is 128. Now come to the next level. If we take right, a D plus C versus if I take a B plus C, which one do you think should be heavier, right? It's a no-brainer. C is common here. D is greater than B. So D plus C must be greater than B plus C, which automatically means D plus C should be the second heaviest, 127. Right? Are we okay with this? Right? D plus C should be 127. Right? That's a very simple take. Right? I hope we are all in sync with this data. Right? What we are talking, what we are trying to gather is simply the value of D plus C, right? D plus C. Okay, sorry, D plus B. D plus B versus B plus C. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we already know C plus D is the heaviest. D plus B should be 127 and B plus C may be anything. It could be 125. Oh, there's another 125. So no thinking required. And we know that A plus B is the heaviest. So A plus C should be the lightest. A plus B is the lightest. So A plus C or B plus C, which one should be the second lightest? Again, a no-brainer. C is common. A is lesser than B. So automatically A plus C should be the second lightest. So that should be 123. So we don't need to dwell so much in detail, right? We're just letting you know, and that also means a B plus C, right? When both the B plus C's are 125, which is superb. Though in this case we don't have to look at it the entire way. You know, I'm coming to some thought process here, right? Look at the way these guys have framed the question. There are 6 equations that we can form with 4 variables. The variables being A, B, C, and D, and we have 6 equations. 100% you'll be able to solve it, right? With the question out of context indeterminable, right? Out of context indeterminable. But yeah, that's all the question, right? So we know B plus C is 125, and this part if we take, we know B plus C is 125, but B plus D plus C plus D, if I take the total here, if I take this part the total 127 and 128, the total is 255, right? 255, and we know, right? We know that B plus C, and you notice here the commonality is B plus C, right? We have a B plus C which is 125. If we subtract this 125, we'll get the value of 2 times D is equal to 130, which automatically means the value of D is going to become 65. Now if you've got the value of D, you can easily get the value of C, that is 63. And if you've got C, you can get the value of B, because you know B plus C is 125, that would be 62. And if you've got this, yeah, like I said, A would be super easy, that would be 60. So you don't need to get all the values, but like I'm saying, we're trying to think in terms of LR perspective in the examination. So it might not just be a quant question type, right, where just one question is asked. The idea is to elaborate. Now just think here, they've given 4 weights. What if this question was based on 8 weights? Now challenge is 8C2, right? What's 8C2 like? 8C2 is 28. Now that is a kind of, you know, level at which they might be working. In this question they've taken 2 at a time. Why not take 3 weights at a time, right? Let's not assume there are 8 weights. Let's say there are 6 weights, and if we take 3 at a time, right? If we take 3 at a time, right? 6C3, that itself is a big number, right? 6C3 itself is 20 possibilities. Now just think of the possibilities, think of the variations that can happen. Now this could very well, if an examiner were to think, this can actually become an LR question or a DI based LR or LR based DI question. So you're seeing how an examiner is thinking, right? I want to get this perspective in your mind. It's not necessarily a question has to be, your standard rules of LR that you have seen, right? LR that you've seen. Otherwise, it can be anything, right? Be open to interpretation, new things. That's exactly what you want to see in your LR preparation, right? So we are all good, right? All of you pretty simple, right? I did a little more explanation on this question, right? You could have solved it much faster, right? But the explanation was to help you understand what if there is a tougher question on these lines, right? So let's move to the next question. All good, right? All good? Yeah, are you guys doing fine? Are you guys, are you guys all tired or something? Right? If you're tired, let's stretch yourself, guys. I hope you understand the difference between a stress and a stretch, right? This is what ordinary people do. This is what you are going to do. You're going to stretch yourself. You is fluid. You're going to stretch. The more you stretch, the better you become, right? The more you stretch, right? And this is a time for the few hours that's left. You can start counting in terms of hours now, right? For the few hours that is left for the examination, stretch yourself. You don't have to worry. You have to be relaxed at the same time. By stretch, if you tell yourself, if you fix a target for yourself, push it a little more, right? Push it a little more, and you'll feel good about it. You'll always feel good about it. Why? Because in the exam, you're going to set a target, and you're going to better the target, right? It helps, psychologically as well, right? These are all psychological hacks that you can start working with, even if it is 2 days before the exam. Trust me on this. It can be a game changer. Forget a game changer. It could be a life changer for you guys, right? If you get into the top IMs, right? And the top B schools, right? Trust me on this. Okay. Let's move to the next question. I'll give you some time to also look at it. Pretty easy one, right? And I have some questions here. Let's just look at the questions as well. In a table, each letter represents. I will give you time to think on that. What is the value of G? What is the value of A plus B plus something? What's the sum of digits A to G? And finally, how many letters can take the maximum value of the digits possible, right, in the table? Okay, so whatever that means, we'll look at the questions later. You please take about 60 seconds to go ahead and solve this, right? 60 seconds. Okay, so it's a little more than your 60 seconds that I've given you, right? So let's look at this. So what's the primary idea here? What's the primary idea? Finding out the digits. So you might be wondering, we have a digit base, quite a lot of digit base here, right? Distinct number again from 0 to 9, pretty similar to your numeric or alphametric type of question. But, the thing to observe here is very simple. And I'm sure most of you have got the line of thought here, right? There are 7 digits and 0 to 9, right? There are 10 digits. That means out of these 10, 3 of them will not be represented. As long as we can identify the 3 which cannot be represented, the question is literally over, right? The question is literally over, right? What are the 3 that cannot be? For sure, what do you think it cannot, any of these 7 values cannot be what? Any of these 7 values cannot be 0. For sure. Why? For the simple reason, if 0 is taken anywhere, right, wow, maximum, suppose I take B as 0 and this B as 0, we cannot make D into E into F as 0. There is no possibility, which means the value cannot be 0. None of these 7 values can be 0. What else can we think of on the same line of thought? What cannot be the number in question? What cannot be the number in question? Yeah, that's good guess. 7 cannot be. Yes, that's perfect, right? You cannot put a 7 again in this list, right? You cannot put a 7. Assuming I have a 7 here, I have a 7 here. We do not have another number which is a 7 or a multiple of 7, which means 7 will become pretty tough to place in this table until I had bigger numbers. I had 14 and 15 and 17 14 and 21 and other numbers. So we cannot even place a 7. Yeah, last. Okay, let's ask the rest. Okay, so what else number? Yeah, voila, that's good, super, that's a nice take. 5 cannot be a number. Perfect, right? But if you place 5 in two places, right? The third place we cannot put a place of 5, right? But some of you might be wondering, why cannot I place 5 here and a 5 here? And why not have a 0 number ending in 0? You cannot do that until and unless you have a multiple of 5. So these three numbers are out. And just notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, and that this is exactly what we want to form a number, right? Whatever number that we're going to place, right? We're going to form with this example. Now, come to think of it, if you're talking, we'll definitely not take 8, 9, and 6 as three numbers. That means A into B into C, it will not be 8, 9, 6. We'll take some number from between, some number from the top, some number from the bottom, and something like that we'll try to do, right? So this is where you can start thinking of highly composite number, though the number that is working here is not a highly composite number. A highly composite number is a number which has the highest number of factors till that number, right? Though the number in question in this question is not a highly composite number, but still, if you think on that, you can eliminate lot of numbers. You can eliminate lot of numbers, right, to work with, right? Okay, now come to think of it, there are simple numbers to work with. We need to multiply and we need to fit these numbers, and remember that B is repeating and there's another letter, that is E, that is repeating. So there are two letters that is repeating, right? There is a B here and there's a E. These two are repeating. So let's look at what we're trying to fulfill here, right? Okay, so let's begin, right? So product of three numbers should be the same everywhere. So what do we have? We have 9, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 3, 3 we can take at a time, right? A little bit of thinking. You don't need too much of a thought process here, right? If I start with smaller numbers, for example, 1 into 2 into 9, that would be insane, right? We're trying to make 18. You don't form. You're trying to make bigger numbers, right? For example, we could try. Let's say maybe a 1 into 8 into 9. We could try a 1 into 8 into 9, which is going to be something like 72. And now all you have to think is, can we form 72 with other sets? And you'll notice very easily, right? You can form 72, right? We have 1 into 8 into 9, that is 72, right? We can also form a 6 into 4 into 3, that is 72, right? And any other way to form a 72. So we need numbers repeating. Now understand, there will be one number from here repeating, right? And one number from here repeating, right? So we need some repetition of numbers. We need repetition of numbers without which it's meaningless, right? All this is meaningless. Also, we need to also represent all the letters, right? So only one unique letter is left for us. Unique number is 2. So 2 into some number into some number. We have a 36, right? That is very simple. We just need to place a 4 and we need to place a 9. That means 2 into 4 into 9, right? If we write it this way, right? Suppose I take this, okay? So the repeating numbers, let's look at the repeating numbers. There's 9 and 9, and there is 4 and 4. So let's see. Now this question is pretty simple otherwise, but there are some nuances to this question as well. Right, so what are they? So we can look at it this way. That means we have 2 into 4 into 9, that is 72. But we have 4 into, right, 4 into something into something, right? So 4 into 3 into 6. Can we like accommodate here? 4 into 3 into 6. Suppose I do it this way. You just cannot place it, right? 4 into 2 into 3, because we don't have a 3 common there, right? 4 into 6, 4 into 6 into 3. And we cannot just place it that way, right? That makes it a little sticky wicket, right? Though we've identified with that, we need to primarily place these numbers, right? That's what the essence is, right? So it's simple. We look at this because this is the one which has two commonalities. So we place a 4 here, we place a 2 here, we place a 9 here. Now some of you might question, why not place a 9 here, why not place a 2 here, why not place a 4 here? Very well, And then if we have a 4 here, we have 3 and 6, so we can place a 3 here, we can place a 6 here, we could place a 3 here, we could place a 3 and 6. Okay, so that means we can place a 8 here, we can place a 1 here, or we can place a 1 here, we can place an 8 here. Likewise, we could place a 6 here, we could place a 3 here. It could be either case. That means 3 into 4 into 6, or 3 into 4, 6 into 4 into 3, whichever way you want to treat. We have 4 into 2 into 9. So we have 9. We will automatically put 8 in 1. That means this is 8 while this is 1. Or if this is not 1, it could be 8 if it's not 1, and this could be 1. That means this will automatically become, 6 or 3 and 3 and 6. So that's how we are going to fill, which means there are certain things. So irrespective of what happens, the value of G, right, invariably is 2. That's something that we can figure out. Value of G is always 2. Pretty simple, right? Okay. The only thing is fitting in. Once you know the 72 is working, fitting in the values, right? Fitting in the values. And 72 is not a highly composite number, but still, it's a number which is reasonably big because it's trying to accommodate 9, 8, 6, and 4 slightly bigger numbers, right? So that's the take on this, right? So value of G is 2. We've pretty much figured out. Then they've asked what is the value for A plus C plus D plus F. It does not matter which case you take, right? You notice that A plus C will be 9 and D plus F will also be 9, right? Whichever case you take, right? Whether you take this case, whether you take the boxed case here or the box at the top, right? A plus C is always 9, D plus F is always 9. So that's 9 plus 9. Okay, that is 18. And what is the sum of all the digits A to G? So what are the digits? What is this? Okay, 0 to 9. What is the sum? 45. This is something that you must memorize. Okay, 0 to 10 maybe, 1 to 15, 1 to 20, 1 to 25. Right? These all triangular numbers will help you. Trust me, this will all help you in your exam point of view. Right? You don't have to sit and calculate all the time. Right? There's something you can memorize. So there's a calculator right there. You can use NA to N plus 1. But still, I would say some of these things memorize. Sigma 10, sigma 20, sigma 30, etc. Right? So sigma 9 is 45, and we have discounted 7 and 5. So 45 minus 12, that would be, okay, the question 3, that is what is the sum of all digits A through G. We have discounted 5, we have discounted 7, we have discounted 0. Sigma 9 is equal to 45 minus these 3, that is 0 plus 7 plus 5, that is minus 12, which is 33. Pretty easy, yeah? Okay, and how many of the letters can take the maximum value of the digits possible in the table? So that what they're asking is how many, A, B, C, D, how many of them can take the value 9? Right, that's the maximum value, right? 9 can be taken by what, or how many letters can take the value 9? You notice that E can take the value of 9, right? Also B can take the value of 9. Nothing else can take the value of 9. You cannot push 9 to some other place, right? Which is pretty easy. So that's your answer for the question number 4 in this caselet. There are 2 letters, namely B and E. Both can take the value of 9. Now easy, right? That would be 2, right? This could be 9, or that could be, whichever way you're treating it. That's 4 and 9 and 9 and 4. Accordingly, we can figure that out. Okay, so that's how we can probably treat this caselet. Okay, again on numbers, right? So simple one, and don't get bogged down when these type of caselet, number based caselet. The good thing is you'll get an idea pretty quick. You might not be immediately. You just have to fix in numbers. That's a beautiful part, right? That's a beautiful part that you can do. That's a beautiful part that you can do in these caselets, right? Super good.
can learn any subject, anywhere, any place, and on the go. Come, let us go the other way in learning. Download our revolutionary app for free. AMC.